Hey you guys, Dev here at WeBuyHouses.com. Welcome to the Cash Offer Masterclass, episode number 57. Today we're going to continue our little tour down there in the southeast Texas area, Beaumont. And we're looking at this right here, which is a lot. It's a lot for sale. And we can build a house on this lot, and that's one of the opportunities, that we will have as investors is to buy vacant land and to build something on it. And so the question is, does this make sense here in Beaumont, Texas, for this lot that's being offered to us? And we'll figure that out. I'll start out by saying this is being offered to us by our friends at Fazio Real Estate Solutions. They're a wholesaler that brings me all kinds of deals all over Texas and beyond. And they brought me this one and said basically vacant land, shovel ready central lot, prime development community, etc. And it's 4,000 square feet of lot. And they say it has a value of 17 and they're selling it for 10, basically 9,900. There is no house to look at. There's nothing to paint yet. Something would have to be built here. But we're going to look in today and see, does it make sense for us to buy this lot in Beaumont, Texas? If you have any interest in anything offered by Fazio, many of my videos, I'm looking at deals from Fazio because they have so many of them, and they're always sending me new stuff, and it gives us fresh content to look at. And so, for example, today we wanted to talk about something different, and what we're talking about is building on vacant land, and what are the economics of that, and how would you kind of model that out to see if it makes sense for you as a real estate investor. If you have any interest in the property, reach out to Jade Vaughn at 214-646-9646. I have no association with Fazio. I don't make a penny if you buy a property from them. I just use their content, and I appreciate them. And so that's the deal that's being offered to us. And let's see, I showed you the lot there. Let's kind of look, where is it? Beaumont is east of Houston over there. And if you remember in our last few episodes, we were in Orange, Texas there for one episode. Then we looked at a house over here in Bevel Oaks in that episode. And so now we're going right into the heart of Beaumont and into a well-established area with lots of older homes. And we'll kind of drive up and down that street a little bit to look at it. We got to do our first test. Is there a Dollar General? Did y'all notice that? As I rolled in, the Dollar General popped up right there. And if I roll in more, I got a Family Dollar and a Dollar General. So the living is good in Beaumont, Texas. That means you can pretty much stay there and never go anywhere. You just have you got the liquor store, all the things you need. Jack in the Box, McDonald's. See, they got all the competing brands. That shows you're in a pretty urban spot. Okay, so that's where the property is. And yeah, let's just kind of look around on this street. And if we look across the street, we're seeing empty lots right here. There's a church right here, and so I think they might be doing parking in that area. That's nice that they have that capability. There's some houses down the street here. These are older, frame houses, and that's there at the church. If I come on back down here, I'm going to pass our lot right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up this street right here, Silver Street. And what I'm looking for is a comp. Now, if you have, real men love Jesus, amen. If you have access to the MLS, then, you can kind of comp the area a little better. I'm looking around, I'm seeing a lot of older homes, and we probably wouldn't build an old frame house. We may have to. That's all that we got the budget for. But what I'm looking for is a home that might be something like what we would build on that lot. And I found, if I come back here, is that the one? Yeah, 1140. This house right here. It's one street over, and it's a nice house. It's got some brick facade, and this is a really nice house. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could transform that lot on the other street to look like this place right here? I mean, that would be awesome. A nice driveway, beautiful house, great lawn. So nice. So for today, I'm just going to call this my comparable to what I would build. And we're going to see what some of the challenges are here, because that house right there, one street over, it's at 1140 Glass House Street. And I went and did a little looking at that thing, and it's 93.9 is the Zestimate with 2,000 square feet. I looked at Redfin, 99,271. Realtor, completely different take on it at 149. And then when I looked at my property radar on that one, what was it? 143. So here's what I did. Now again, this isn't the house that's for sale. This is a house one street over that's comparable to something I think I could build on that street over there. What was the name of that street? Over there on Silver Street. Yeah. And so that's my comparable, is this 1140 Glass House Street. And I'm not doing a whole model on this house. I'm not looking to buy this house. I'm just trying to figure out a couple of things about home values in this area. And so as I went the one street over, grabbed this one, grabbed those numbers from Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, and Property Radar, I see that I've got an average of 121, which is also the median. The median smooths out the outliers, but this is kind of from 93 all the way to 143. It's a $50,000 spread, and it's right there in the middle of it is the median. So 121 is what I would say if I was just looking at that comparable house and trying to figure out what it was worth. For the benefit of our exercise today and thinking about building a house over there on Silver Street, I'm going to use the Property Radar, well, actually a midpoint between the Property Radar and the Realtor numbers on my comparable house, and say 145,000 is the potential sale price of the property if I built a house on that other street. Because if this house on Glass House Street was for sale, while my new property was for sale, well, people could go over and buy this one for probably $145,000. So if I'm going to build about a 2,000 square foot house over there on that empty lot, this is going to be my competition. Basically, if you notice, there was a lot of older frame houses all around that lot, and I had to come up kind of a street away to find one that looked, pretty interesting for us, and something that we might build. And so therein lies our first problem, which is we can probably only expect, after we build a house, we buy that lot for $10,000, we build a house on it, we can probably only expect to sell that house for maybe 145, 150 because of the competition. We're in a low dollar area. And let's say I could get 150. I had 140 after the price of the lot, and I divide that by, say, a 2,000 square foot house. This one was 2267, my comp. That gives me $70 a square foot to build the house with no profit. If I just bought the lot for 10 and I built the house, a 2,000 square foot house for $70 a square foot, it would cost me 140. I would be in at 150, and I think that's around what I could sell the property for. And that's a huge, huge problem. And then the other question is really, could we build a house for $70? If you remember the gutted house that we were looking at, we were estimating that would cost at least $80 to come in and finish that gutted house, with sheetrock and texture and all the things that needed to be done to it. So if we're going to build a house, there's nothing there at all. There's no foundation. There's no pipes. There's no nothing. We've got to build it from scratch. Well, this is one of those things that you can talk to ChatGPT about, particularly if you're a newer investor, if you're just looking at a type of a deal that you haven't done before. And I came in and I said, I'm a real estate investor. I can buy this lot for 10, plan to build a 2,000 square foot house on it. What's my estimated cost? Assume a builder's grade materials and finish out. And then it came down into it. And let's just jump to the quick answer, which is around $150 at minimum. Now, they said other estimates for simple, modest finishes lean towards $100, especially in less expensive and more rural areas. Now, I'm concerned that Beaumont is not necessarily going to have, it's not rural. As you said, it had a Family Dollar and a Dollar General. It had a McDonald's and a Jack in the Box. That's not rural, So I think your materials, your labor, the time it takes you to do it, it's all going to be pretty similar down there. And you can see ChatGPT's like, if I was looking at this, a lot for 10, I'd budget $300K for construction with a 10 to 15% buffer, And it's like, oh my gosh. So in other words, I think this is a non-doable thing, right? We can't build a house for $70. And even if we did build a house for $70, that's not building in any profit, And if it costs us $150 a square foot to build that house, well, I think we would be building a mansion on a street that can't support it. And it's just that's not an area that's going to support that type of place. Let's drop back over here. Oh yeah, the lot is technically, this is the frontage because it's technically on that silver, not considered to be on Delaware. So the lot actually faces that way. So this would be the front of the house right there. There's the lot. That's your neighbor. That's what you see across the street. And yeah, this is not going to support a $300,000 construction. And, if there were other really beautiful houses that were being built around there and you weren't the first to do this and it made sense that people were coming in, this was becoming a very vibrant area, and people were coming in here and buying these houses and either renovating or tearing them down and building new builds, with nice modern materials and finishes and all that kind of stuff. If that was happening, this deal would make sense. That is not happening here. Therefore, the deal doesn't make sense. So I think that's why this lot is empty, and I think it's why that lot is going to stay empty for years to come, because I don't think any investor, no builder is going to be able to come in here, at least right now, and build something there and get $150 to $200 a square foot in their sell price for it. I just don't see it. So for that reason, I got to pass on this one. And I think we're probably done on our loop down through the Beaumont area. I thought it would be an interesting place to go. I've never been there. I haven't bought houses in Beaumont. But what I wanted to show you guys is my methodologies, the logic that we use, the math we use. It works wherever you are. You don't have to be buying houses in Texas. You could be buying them in Ohio or Arkansas or Nevada or wherever, Idaho. It works the same way. And so I just want you guys to realize that. And then also look forward to episode 60. That's in 3 more episodes. We're actually filming it this afternoon with my good friend Ray Williamson from Kiavi, and we're going to talk about how investors fund their deals for new construction or for renovation or for rentals, like DSCR type loans. If you don't know what that means, watch episode 60 and you will. That's it for me today, guys. I'm going to keep it as short as possible and just say, if you have any wholesale deals in your area, I would love for you to send them to me so that I can start showing how the model works really anywhere. You can see my email address down there in the corner if you'd like to send that to me. So thanks, guys. Go to cashoffermasterclass.com to get the calculator. And remember, you can always search for Cash Offer Masterclass on Google and YouTube and go right to the content. I appreciate your time today. Look forward to the next episode and especially to having you join me for episode number 60. Have a great day.